What in the world happened here? Another weekend in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Has come to a close, and it appears the YCSJ and all that fun stuff has done its job. So make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that Valkyrion, the Magna Warrior button, so you guys don't miss out more content. Magna Warriors literally was one of the coolest decks that we got to see out of this weekend at YCSJ. One of the most successful variants was, I actually kid you not, playing Valkyrion and Berserkion, the Big Daddy Chunga's Magna Warrior. Now, does this mean that, Magna Warriors are going to develop into something in the TCG side? No. I kind of doubt that, because a lot of the big fundamentals that the bigger combo build was doing was you need a secondary engine in order to make it fully come together. And that was something that, the OCG very famously has Fiendsmith for, allowing them much more generic access to things. But from every twist and turn, Magna Warriors, and even seeing play with Valkyrion, truly is the essence of what in the world happened here. I think a lot of people really just underestimated actually ever thinking about Magna Warriors being a successful deck. And the fact that, this wasn't just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was 7 lists that came out of 5,000 duelists that I have seen being reported, of which a couple of those were top 64 out of 5,000 duelists, by the way. So I think there is, if you're looking for a cool casual deck, I'm totally down to see, Magna Warriors actually finally getting a spotlight. And anytime I can make a super cheesy boss monster, I'm totally down for that. Majestic Star Dragon. So this was something that I'd put aside for another discussion, but I figured it deserves a place in the What in the World is Happening Here series, because a couple of lists fairly recently started popping up playing Majestic Star Dragon as an access point to make it off of the Crimson Dragon. Now, you probably have no idea what this card does, and I don't really blame you for that, because Majestic Star Dragon, you've got bigger versions of this that just serve better points within the game, I feel like, but if you were to hard make this, it's a Majestic Dragon, a Stardust, and a non-tuner. Yeah, good luck, man. On a level 10. 3 monsters to make this is stupidly bad. But during either player's turn, your opponent activates a card or effect. We contribute this card to negate that activation, and then destroy all cards your opponent controls. And once per turn, you can target a face of monster your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of this turn. And then you can activate one of its effects as this card's effect once per turn. Sadly enough, this is not a quick effect for this particular part, but that's fine. And then, of course, during the end phase, you target a Stardust in the graveyard. This kicks itself back into the extra deck. You get a free Stardust back. It's a real shame that these are limited, but if you're going for like a turn that I need to have a very, very strong body on the field, or I need the ability to, take care of negating an effect, self-replacing that effect onto this. Also, 3,800 attack points, a little bit something worth talking about in my personal opinion. So, truly fantastically powerful card. I do hope to see that, maybe, just maybe, we'll see some future use out of this in the TCG once we get more of these synchro piles going with Elven Notes. Tier Elements Rukalos. So I had to look at this for a second. To my understanding right now, there have been more sales recently on Rukalos than normal. And just kind of looking through this, in the last 2 weeks, you've been having a copy or two selling a day, which, take a moment to think about this for a second. This card has no real application anywhere right now. Tier's kind of slumped over in a hole in a corner, not really, getting the chance to do too much. And it's interesting. Like, are we running out playing this in Genesis format? Because I've not seen a single Genesis list playing this. Do we think that there's something super secret and techie for Pittsburgh? I mean, I'm not going to leave that without the realm of possibility, but the problem is Rucalos never got a reprint. You might not know this or not, but the only copy of Rucalos that we have on the market are the ones from Darkwing Blast, which are going to be your super high rarity unobtainium Starlight Rare, which is still over $100. Or you're going to be fighting down for the $10 to $15 copies. And I mean, I know that that's a wide spread for, you know, seeing differences in numbers, but it's pretty clear to me here that there is a want for this, whether or not just people going, hey, you know, Tier's going to come back someday, I'm going to pick this up, or, you know, hey, I believe in Tier, you know, it's my favorite casual fun deck. I don't know, all right, but yes, the card is moving, and whether or not there's for a different reason than what I have mentioned here, more power to the market doing what the market does. The dragon that devours the dogma. How many branded cards do I have to sit through by the week watching these getting wiped off the market? Now, I don't know if the Dragon That Devours the Dogma was a short print secret rare, because I opened up a whole ass display of these things and I didn't pull a single one of these. So I am not surprised to see that this thing is going up in value, but the truth of the reality here is a lot more builds have been like every branded list has been playing this, at least the TCG versions. The OCG gets to cheese with an entirely new branded in white, which is an entirely different story for the things that they get to do over there. But between like the quality issues that the Fallen and the Albaz decks had, the fact that, you know, some of these builds didn't necessarily, or some of these decks didn't have like good quality secret rares, even card quality wasn't the best. I mean, even looking at the secret rares, I mean, they're only like $6. You're not really losing out too much to have to pick these up, because I mean, it's a one-of. So once again, you've also got the fact that people are going to look at this, they're going to go, hey, I can upgrade my deck for a price point that's not going to hurt me. You know, $5, $6, it's pretty cheap and it's very realistic for what you can do. So I do think that players are going to kind of look at this from that standpoint. They're going to go, me want nice cards, me not want to spend literal money on Starlight, but me want to spend $6. Make one copy in deck look nice, me happy, deck actually look nice when me play deck. Alright, it's a mentality, it really is. And then we gotta leave it on over here to Malice. So, Malice ended up winning YCSJ over the weekend, which I didn't expect it to really impact the market all that much, because the reality of the situation here is there are key differences between the TCG and the OCG when you're looking at your variations of this. I mean, they have Splash Mage, we don't, which, I mean, free extenders and things like that, but that doesn't mean that Malice is a completely dead and out of the water deck. Now, that's not even going to be the case. You're going to have people that are going to be looking at the OCG tournament results, though, and they're going to go, woo, you know, Malice. I have not seen any real pickups on our side of the market, but once again, this is the What in the World Has Happened Here video. You know, a deck ends up winning a big YCS of 5,000 people. Eyes are going to be drawn to it. There's going to be a little bit of attention and a little bit of talk. You know, not everything's going to be in the high rarity department. It's just not how it works. What you are going to have, though, is once again, when you've got these cheap versions of cards coming in at $2, $3 a piece, that's where your movements are going to start to be. And yes, you've had a lot of white rabbits moving within the secret rares and the ultra rares. It was bound to happen. Once again, you see cheap cards, people are going to act on it. Once again, just look at the Devourer of the Dogma. You know, players are more enticed to spend less money to get the same thing or even to treat themselves a little bit, and I think that this is no different. Whoo! Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and God, what a day. Patrons! Thank you. Ah!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.